in Paris. No, I do not agree at all with anything he said. I mean, this man is a fraud and he's a charlatan, and I wish more people in my profession and in my business would call him out for what he actually is. If we go back, be students of history. 5.5 years ago, with the first black president, he challenged his birth certificate and wanted to know where he was born. You go back to him as a business owner and the way he was sued for unfair practices in renting to African Americans. So he has a history of being bigoted and racist. He has Bannon in his cabinet, who is an alt-right supporter and edits an alt-right online website, Breitbart. So as an African American, as a person of color, as a minority in the United States, there's nothing that Trump has done, track record longer, a mile long, that would speak to the contrary of a bigot and a fraud. And you see him there in his Golden Palace, Trump Towers in New York, and it's like Nero in Rome. And if I'm going to stay on that, on the history, the generals and the politicians also need to wake up. That general who basically said that the army does not stand for bigotry and racism, come on, there were segregated units in the army as far back as World War II. So I don't believe what I'm hearing from the people that are supposed to lead. And what's scary is that everything gets condemned as fake news when you speak out against him. It's basically GOP dictatorship, where anyone who speaks out against him is fake news and not telling the truth. And the only real information that we're getting from him is hatred with Nazis. I mean, how hard is it to denounce Nazis, Becky? How hard is it to say that those who perpetrate hatred and those who want to see separatism, how hard is it to say that's not what America should be about?
What do you feel as a person of color? Do you feel fear as an American today?
I do feel fear as an American today because Trump has made hatred and racism fashionable. There were Ku Klux Klan members 5-6 years ago would never take off their hoods. They'd march the streets, but they'd be covered up because they didn't want people to know who they were. Now they march through the streets of a college town boldly with no masks, no hoods. David Duke is on TV saying that we support Trump, we got him elected, his values are our values. And the same man that can denounce a person on Twitter within 15 seconds if they say something bad about him took 48 hours to say anything about the alt-right, the KKK, neo-Nazis who are saying that they support him. So yes, as a person of color, fear and frustration would be my two overriding emotions.